The IT firm Infosys has confirmed that one of their company's employee is among the hostages at the Lindt Cafe in Sydney. A statement released by Infosys says that they were also in the process of confirming the whereabouts of their other employees in the city. The company is in constant touch with the local authorities and the Indian consulate in Sydney for updates on the ground situation. The family of the employee has been informed and all possible help is being extended to them. Infosys hopes that the situation gets resolved peacefully at the earliest, while extending prayers to the families of those involved. This is the latest breaking news that we are in fact getting in, that there is in fact a woman who is an Indian national who is in fact holed up inside that cafe. The IT firm Infosys has in fact confirmed that piece of information. Joins me in the studios for more. Rohini, what do we know about this Indian national who's holed up inside that cafe?
Well, what we know as of now is that the confirmation that's come from Infosys is the person works for Infosys, and the only thing that we know is that the company is in constant touch with the consulate and has told the family members, and they're only hoping that the whole situation at this time, it works out in a way that all the hostages are let free. Well, beyond that we can't say much, but Infosys is very clear in its statement that they're with the person who has been held hostage, and they're also scrutinizing the names of other employees who could be in Sydney and whether they are all safe.
Right. Also, has this particular, the particular family that you're talking about, have they at all heard anything from inside? We have in fact heard, a couple of instances of SMSs being exchanged between hostages inside and people, and those people outside, or their family members outside. Has any of that so far come to light?
Well, Rishika, all that we know right now is that the company is in touch with the family. They've been asked to be completely tight-lipped about the whole issue.
Right.
And more importantly, we've also been told that since it's a crisis where we have seen the involvement of possibly even the ISIS in this, that as much of restraint be maintained, and that is what even the family has been told and people. And we've also had the media also been advised by the company that they maintain restraint. As and when information comes, statements will be issued.
All right, media has been advised to in fact maintain restraint. So has the family members who have not spoken out so far. The latest that we're getting in via the statement that has been issued by Infosys is that they have in fact confirmed that one woman who is an Indian national has been holed up inside that cafe. Also, Rohini, at this point in time, has Infosys said anything else about, who this particular employee was, how long she was working there, any other details that we have at this point in time?
Well, nothing that they want to share, for the simple reason, like I was saying, it's a very sensitive issue, and they do not want to get the details. Yes, the name is known, details are known, and like I said, they're in touch with the family. But end of the day, it is also a hostage crisis, involves lives of many other hostages over there. It also that it's such a big organization that is behind it. It could be the retaliation could have multifold it could be in other places. We've seen such kind of situations. So that is why I was saying that the restraint that is not just for the media, but generally for information flowing around, just for the safety of those people who are held hostage.
And how exactly, Rohini, did Infosys in fact confirm the presence of this particular employee inside the cafe? Do we have any details on that?
No details on those things, but the fact that they've come with their statement, they've had their machinery in place.
All right, Infosys definitely did have their machinery in place. They have confirmed that an Indian national has in fact been held hostage inside that cafe. Now, as this crisis unfolds and some hostages managed to escape, many are still trapped inside. One such man trapped inside managed to contact his mother through the text message. The conversation on SMS has the son telling his mother that he is inside the cafe and unharmed. The mother claims that the SMS was the last contact between the two. Well, this is one of the stories that is in fact emerging from inside the cafe as this crisis unfolds. Some hostages, remember, have managed to escape. We've been showing you those visuals on your screen of the hostages, the lucky few who managed to escape and are now aiding the police investigation into the matter. One man trapped inside managed to contact his mother through a text message, and the conversation on SMS had the son telling his mother that he is inside the cafe and unharmed. The fact that all the hostages so far are unharmed is encouraging news. It shows that the negotiations that are currently underway between the establishment in Australia and those holding innocent lives hostage are in fact perhaps showing some positive signs. The mother who received an SMS from her son claims that he reported to her that he is unharmed, but that SMS conversation was really the last contact that was in fact made between the two. And as we told you earlier, 5 hostages have managed to escape the cafe, an act caught live in dramatic videos. All are now in the care of the police. They are being questioned for any further information, any disclosures that they may make which may aid in the investigation. The first escape was around 10:15 a.m. Indian time. The footage showed 2 men running from the front gate of the cafe and a third dressed in what appeared to be a Lindt uniform escaping outside the door on Phillip Street. A heavily armed officer can also be seen coming out of the side door behind the staff worker. Well, nearly an hour after the first set of hostages escaped at around 10:15 a.m. India time, more dramatic footage showed 2 women, both of whom appeared to be cafe workers, running down Martin Place away from the cafe. There was a palpable relief on their faces as they entered the police cordon. This takes the number of hostages who have escaped to 5. Authorities have still not confirmed how many staffers and customers were in fact taken hostage this morning. Remember, that has been perhaps one of the biggest hurdles in the investigation into this entire matter. The number of hostages inside that cafe are not known, but with these 5 people escaping and now aiding police investigation, we are hoping that they will in fact be able to divulge crucial details as to how many people are there inside, what is exactly their motive, how are they armed, what exactly the situation is inside. Those are the details that the police is going to be looking to find from the 5 people who have in fact managed to escape.
To Islamic State, whether they are real, whether they are rooted in the months and months that we've seen Islamic State commit the atrocities that we have, or if it's a man simply using the Islamic State brand as a way of fear-mongering to give himself some credibility perhaps as well. Police don't know that just yet, and if they do know, they certainly aren't broadcasting those details. Obviously, it's important for them to keep those details close to their chest.
But first indications of what the demands of the hostage of the hostage taker in the cafe, they have in fact come from the hostages who have managed to escape the ordeal. This is what those who have escaped have in fact revealed. An Australian news agency has spoken to 2 former hostages, and they say that the gunman has come up with 2 demands: an ISIS flag in exchange of a hostage and also a phone call to the Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott. Let us tell you, the claims are yet unverified. This is source-based information at this point in time. The hostages have also told the police that the gunman talked of 4 bombs, 2 inside the cafe and 2 in the surrounding central business district of Sydney.
For their patience this afternoon, for doing what police asked of them by staying clear of certain areas. She also asked them, though, if they have plans tonight in Sydney, go ahead and do what they have to do. Even if it's coming into the city, she said that's fine, as long as they stay away from Martin Place. That issue is being dealt with what she described as the best negotiators in the world, and she said that they were constantly in touch with that gunman. Mel?
All right, Sean, thanks very much for that.
To put this entire story in perspective, let's just take a look at how the entire sequence of events has in fact unfolded through the course of the day. The incident began with a lone gunman taking customers and employees at the popular Lindt Cafe hostage at around 10 a.m. local time. Offices were just opening and the cafe was full of customers heading to work. The cafe is in the middle of the bustling Sydney Central Business District with important institutions such as the Reserve Bank of Australia and several bank headquarters nearby. The area is also close to the New South Wales State Parliament as well as the Indian, Pakistani and the US consulates in Sydney. All of these consulates, remember, have been evacuated this morning. Welcome back. It's been over 11 hours since the hostage situation in the heart of Sydney's business capital continues. Headlines Today is going to be bringing you all the latest on that developing story. A short while ago, Nick, who is an eyewitness who's been seeing all of this that has in fact happened, spoke with Headlines Today. Let's listen into what Nick had to say.
Yeah, look, it started about 10 o'clock Sydney time in the morning. There was one armed gunman, with a backpack. We obviously don't know what was in the backpack, but there was one armed gunman, and there was about 10 employees of the cafe in there already, and they're not sure about how many customers were there, but the CEO of Lindt estimates there to be, at that time of the day, there should be on average about 30 customers. So the estimate is that there was something like 40 people there, and with the gunman having them hostage. Earlier in the day, he had the hostages holding up flags with writing on it, which obviously they weren't too clear on what it said, but it referred to Islamic writing. But as the day has gone on, the Prime Minister of Australia has made a statement. Also, the state police also have made a statement. And yeah, in the last sort of 1 or 2 hours, so this has been going on for more than 7 hours now. In the last 1 or 2 hours, 5 people have managed to escape from there. I think they're saying at this stage they've escaped, not being let go, but there's still no clarity on there. And the whole sort of street around there's hundreds of police and a lot of media people, but it's all been locked off, and traffic is like crazy. It's kind of like traffic in India now, in Sydney, in the CBD as well.
Okay. And have these people spoken out, the 5 who managed to get out? How do we know that they've escaped and not been released, Nick?
Look, there's no confirmation on it, but I think that the media are saying that they've escaped not being released. I don't know if they've said anything, but they were seen to be running out. That's all I know.
Right. And you were there when this gunman went inside the Lindt Cafe and took people hostage?
I wasn't there at the exact time. I did go there later in the day. And I think just in terms of the actual, a lot of the people in Sydney, people are like, companies are letting people go home just because this is an event that in Australia it is not very common. So everyone is in a state of shock here, and most importantly, wanting this situation to be resolved well, and the people to safely, obviously, escape.
Okay, and is this a lone gunman? There were some reports that seem to indicate that there were 2 other people, at least that's what the Daily Telegraph is writing. 2 other people similarly attired, they're wearing a similar t-shirt, black t-shirt, white writing, and a headband. Can you tell us something more about that, Nick?
Yeah, so there was reports that there was maybe 2 or 3 people, but the video and all the sort of the actual images have only shown one person by himself with a gun in his hand and a backpack. So it's confirmed that it's the one person, but if there's any additional people, there's no confirmation about that.